How many games can you have in early access? I think we already used that. Yeah, let's scout the crap. The developer we're looking in today is kind of weird. Not weird like the 6 games that Upnori has in early access. There are still 6 as 2020, by the way. But still too many for a 1 or 2-man operation. Today we're looking at the publisher/developer called Crabby Team. And I want to be upfront here, I have absolutely no idea who is behind Crabby Team. I have some points where I could go off from, but I couldn't, for the love of Melitelli, not figure out who is actually behind all of this. It's a mystery, you could say. There are, as of February 2020, 5 games that could be accredited to Crabby Team directly. Those being Crabby Run, Adventure, Space Battle, Humanity, Casual Strategy Sci-Fi, Game Machines, Arcade Casino, Fast Drive, Extreme Race and Drift, and My Mad Road, Adventure, Racing and Shooting. And if all those titles sound like I made them up, I would like to ask you a question. Do you think I'm really that creative? Not even I could come up with such beautiful titles. And my English is pretty fucking bad. At least my pronunciation. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. I can't do anything. I'm not a native speaker. Generally speaking, I like to approach these kinds of videos by looking into the early access games, their reviews, their updates and discussion tabs, and then additional information like the company's social media or their website, and then more intrusive stuff like, maybe reviews or either in written or video form. And most of the time I also like to take one specific topic and explain that further in the video. In the first episode about Star Rogue, for example, I talked about the importance of presentation and how it's important to keep your website, clean and visible, and how your contact information should be there and everyone should have access to it without any hindrance. In the 1001st Hyper Tower episode, I talked about how procedural generation can be not good, and I talked about that with the dev. When I talked about Epic Royale, I talked about my distaste of constantly shifting priorities in games and how sometimes games will never come out. With the Interstellar Marines video, I want to show that there are games that are very unlikely to come out, but there are still people working on them. As I was thinking about the topic I wanted to explore with Crabby Team, I couldn't really come up with anything because I don't have anything. It's weird. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to explain how I approach those kinds of videos, or those kinds of cases. First, I have to find out what games I want to talk about. There is no method here. I just find them randomly and then I go to work. I visit a Steam page and I look into the developer and the publisher. If they have a site or a YouTube channel or social media account, I gather those links for later purposes. First thing I check is if the company has more than one game in early access. In Crabby Team's case, it's pretty easy because they release their games under one account. Since I can already see that they have a few games under their belt, I go to SteamDB to do a second check and go to Steam Spy to do a third checkup. On Steam Spy, you could see that Super Seducer 2 was published by Crabby Team. I contacted the developer and forgot to screenshot it, so yeah, it's fixed now, so who cares? So basically, I have no luck here. Normally, I continue to search the internet. In this case, I found a site called PC Gamer Benchmark, and Crabby Team is listed as the publisher/developer of a game called CYBER.one, Transcar Racing, Action Racing. Unfortunately, the publisher listed on Steam is actually Cybernetic World. The title of the game has the same quirks in the naming convention, but the update history and discussions are completely empty. There are no social media links or any other type of contact. The last update was probably in February, as you can see from the SteamDB, and the games were first introduced to the site around October 2019. Ultimately, there is nothing here I can do. I can't really say for sure that this game is also connected to Crabby Team, even though it makes sense due to the naming convention, but that's pretty flimsy evidence if you ask me. Crabby Team seems to also have a YouTube channel, but I can't really confirm this since there is no direct connection from the Steam to the YouTube channel from the devs themselves, so take all of this with a grain of salt. Here we have 5 videos, 2 about the Crabby Run game, 2 about the Game Machines arcade casino game, and 1 about the Space Battle Humanity game. The 2 videos about Game Machines being literally the same, well, one has a description that I want to present to you.
Game Machines Arcade Casino is a simulator of playing on the game machines. Without spending any money, you can test yourself in games which are gaining popularity among YouTubers. Great entertainment for long hours. Check your reflex skills and luck. Become the master and claim the cash.
Do I need to add anything to this? I don't think I need. The other videos have no description and only a link to the Steam store page, and that's basically it. The last thing I found while searching for Crabby Team was one lonely soul called bayad marouane from Tétouan, Morocco, on a site called F6S. Unfortunately, the account is unclaimed, the LinkedIn connected to it is inactive or deleted, and if you check the developer on Steam, they claim to be from Poland, so there's no connection here, and why should someone ever lie on the internet, right? So we finally arrived at the games themselves. Let's go through the games in order of the release date. Crabby Run Adventure is a Pac-Man-esque game where you play a crab and you try to acquire treasure. It seems to have stock assets and stock music. It has 7 reviews in total, 5 being positive, and 3 of those positive reviews received the product for free. Now, I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, but it's highly suspicious that the majority of positive reviews come from people that receive the game for free, and that they are all from Russia. The negative ones being in English and Spanish. I let you decide what to do with this information. The discussion is empty, and that's not bad in itself, but if you're a developer, you could at least have a pinned thread to report bugs, for example. That would be already a plus on my side, and it would look better than just have an empty page there. If you want to see a well-made discussion board, even over several games, check out the developer Walter Machado. He's the creator of Ubermosh. I know I've been plugging Ubermosh everywhere, but Ubermosh is really good. Go play Ubermosh. The update is also empty. I mean, what did you expect? Again, if you could just put some release the game update in there, it would be already look 100 times better. But I guess nobody cares, right? Space Battle Humanity, Casual Strategy Sci-Fi, is one of those base capturing RTS. It's an RTS, but you have a fixed base, and you start with one captured base. From there you have to send out units to capture a free base or a base owned by the opponent. The fights are decided by the surplus of units compared to the opponent. I remember playing those kinds of games when I used to play a lot of browser games. If you are unsure what I mean, you just need to look at Mushroom Wars or Tentacle Wars. Those are pretty good examples. I remember playing one about Star Wars where you send stormtroopers back and forth. Yeah, it was weird. Here we have 18 reviews in total, 8 of them being positive, 4 of those being from Russia, again, and 3 of those being from accounts that received the game for free, and the same accounts that reviewed the last game. Now, I don't want to accuse anyone of anything, but it starts to look really suspicious if 5 of the same accounts that rated the last game positively are here again, and 3 of those accounts received the game for free again. I also want to point out that there is one account that didn't set up their profile. Again, do whatever you want with this information. I don't want to judge you. The update tab looks much better since it contained at least the patch notes, and the discussion tab looks also fine, even though there are only 3 questions and 2 of them are asking for help because the game seems kind of janky. On to the next game, Fast Drive Extreme Race and Drift. It's a car combat game from a top-down perspective, and it seems that it will be released into early access in 2021. From the update tab we can conclude that Crabby Team is a group of 2 people, and they are working on 2 games at the same time, one being Fast Drive and the other one being My Mad Road, adventure racing and shooting. My Mad Road has no foreseeable release date as well, but it seems that it has the most amount of updates, including screenshots and GIFs, you know, like a proper update tab. The discussion is also vivid, but most of those guys are promo beggars or trolls. So yeah. But anyhow, didn't they have one last game called Game Machines Arcade Casino? Well, that one is in early access and you can buy it for $2. So they're working on 2 games at the same time and have one early access title that is not done, but you can buy it. And if you just scratch the surface, you will find out that the development is halted on Game Machines. What the actual fuck? You know, I get it. It's hard to make a game. It takes a long time, it's not a thankful job to do. Everyone is going to shit on your creation if there's only one small thing wrong with it, but I don't understand why developers just leave the product and don't even have the decency to at least close it down. It's also weird that there's no automated system that takes out those kinds of projects. These types of games that are in early access but have no release date and are never going to be finished, especially if there's no updates to the project in months or years, should be gone. Developers, if you have a project and you want to put it in early access, please, for the love of Melly Telly, have at least something ready. Have the decency to at least close your project down once you're not going to work on it. In conclusion, Crabby Team is apparently working on 2 games at the same time, those 2 games being not even in early access yet. The game that they have in early access is not being developed further, even though they're still cashing the money from the project. The first 2 titles seem sketchy when it came to reviews, and overall they have a very, very, very poor presentation. Well, what do we do now? Nothing, because why would anybody care? They have probably not sold many of their games, so I assume nobody cares. But I care, and I will continue to search for those small, sketchy devs because I think they are potentially taking away space from devs that actually deserve it. And they're kind of clogging up the Steam storefront. And I don't care, you know, I don't care if they come out. They're just shitty games. Fuck them. My ultimate goal is to make the early access program better, or at least take the trash that fills the Steam store. Alright, thanks for watching this video. This is still a series on the channel. It will come out periodically. If you have any sketchy devs you want me to look at, I'm open for suggestions. Stay away from Crabby Team. Take care of yourselves and have a nice and wonderful day.